Hey, are you available to for us to come over? Cool. Hey, what was the street you lived on again? North Watts. Okay. All right. I remember how to get there. As long as you don't have to be there too long. Yeah, you don't have to be there too long.
You guys want some biscuits? So I think this is the most perfect batch I've made so far.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What makes it so perfect?
The size is perfect. Well, that one's not the right size. This one right here is the perfect size. See that? It's about, let's say about 4.5 inches.
4.5 inches?
Yeah. And it's so fucking fluffy. Like, try that.
Can I?
This is called a flour sifter, and when you're baking, especially something that needs to be fluffy, you need to be gentle with it because a lot of it has to do with the air trapped in the flour and also the protein. If you pack all the protein in the flour in too much, it makes everything all just flat, and so you gotta keep everything nice and lightly sifted. Alright, so here comes the secret part. Oh yeah, salt. Where's the salt?
You're gonna give away your secret?
Well, it's not really a secret because I got it out of a book that you can buy in any bookstore in the world, but yeah. Frozen butter. So I cut the butter up and I freeze it. Wait, I need to kind of combine this stuff together together. I'm going to pulse it a couple times. I do about a cup of buttermilk to start out.
It's thick.
Yeah. That's not because it's fatty. Kind of pour it in there. It's important to use a rubber spatula for this part because you want to be gentle to the flour. You want to kind of, don't stir it really fast. If you were to use a mixer right now, you would totally fuck the whole thing up. My goal is to get a dough ball that's like, it just feels like a giant wad of cellulite. Alright, so that's how well I want it mixed. Now I throw a little bit of flour on there so it's not totally wet. I'm going to put it right down over here on the cutting board. There's old buttermilk biscuit crap on it. Alright. The shape of the biscuit, a lot of people will roll it out and then use a cutter to make each individual biscuit like a perfect disc, but I find that it's better to let the biscuits take their natural shape, and it makes them fluffier, it makes them better. They may not be perfect looking, but they're better. See how like full of air that is, you know? And that's a real biscuit, like a granny biscuit, is usually like that.
The granny biscuit?
A granny biscuit. Fake biscuits, like the kind you get at McDonald's, or those stupid ones in a can, like Grands made by Pillsbury, those are usually perfect disc and they're flaky, which a buttermilk biscuit is not supposed to be flaky. It's supposed to be kind of crumbly.
How long do you
12 minutes.
When did you first come up with the idea of creating Ben's Biscuit Barn?
I really started to get the idea about 3 or 4 months ago. There's a place on Lombard down the street here called Flavor Spot, and they have waffles, like really good waffles, like exotic toppings and stuff. Or not all of them are exotic. They have normal toppings, but they have weird ones too. So it's kind of like a gourmet food cart.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's using a non-gourmet food like waffles. So I can't find a normal biscuit or a good biscuit in Portland. So I'm thinking, well, all right, if I was back in North Carolina, which is where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there's plenty of places. There's a place in North Carolina called Bojangles, which is my ultimate inspiration. And there's no way I could have a biscuit barn in North Carolina because people would be like, well, I can go to Bojangles. Why would I go to your biscuit barn?
Mm-hmm.
But here it's like, there's nowhere to get breakfast. Like, there's like these they're like gentrified diners. You know, they're like, it's like a Waffle House or like a Denny's or something, but like with all this like slick decor, and like you can't spend less than $7 getting a decent breakfast. So, and then there's like McDonald's, and who else? Their biscuits suck. So the major first thing I need to do is write a business plan. So, like in here, there's kind of like a laundry list of things to do. So I need cover page, table of contents, executive summary, industry market analysis, business overview, product or service description, management and staffing, marketing plan, operations plan, financial plan, and appendix. So that sounds kind of complicated, but a lot of these are just like a paragraph long. They only need to be... The hardest part I'm going to have, though, is actually doing an industry and market analysis. Like, what the fuck? I mean, how am I supposed to figure out how much the food cart industry makes in a given year in Portland? I mean, it's not like a well-documented thing. So, and I don't even know if there's a point to that. Like, I can understand if I was starting like a biotech firm, I would need that information, but I'm starting a biscuit stand. So there's 3 positive rules of accomplishment. 1 is you read the list of what you want 3 times each day, morning, noon, and night. And I have this little list right here of the things that I want. At the top 2 are, I want $50,000 to start the biscuit barn and have extra. And I don't want to have I don't have to pay it back. So I don't know how that's going to happen. Maybe I'll get less than that or something, but I hope to get that. So I read that list every day. Second thing is I think of what you want as often as possible. So a lot of times I just space out and think about it. Right now. Visualizing it. Okay, and then here's the fucked up part. And this is probably how I'm ruining the whole thing, but I can't let that doubt infuse my mind. Do not talk to anyone about your plan except to the great power within you which will unfold to your objective mind the method of accomplishment. So actually me talking about this right now is probably negating. But actually, I haven't really told you anything about my method of accomplishment. I've showed you this book and that's it. So, I'm fine. Here goes this is my outline for my business plan. I got my cover page, and then I don't know what I'm going to put right there yet because I haven't gotten to that part. And then now starts my business overview, and that goes on for a couple of pages. And then I've got my menu. I think I got to change these prices, but this is generally what my menu is going to be like. And I think I'm going to make the biscuits $2 because they're going to be pretty big. You know? And I'm going to focus more on combos, like bacon, egg, and cheese for this much rather than a la carte. And here's kind of what I want the front of it to look like.
Of course, the barn itself that's going to be on a cart.
Yeah. This is going to be a fake front on a cart. Yeah, my name is Benjamin Thomas Walker. I am going to start my own business called the Biscuit Barn, and I'm going to sell buttermilk biscuits, among other things. out of a food cart or a food trailer that looks like a barn, and I'm doing that because I want to bring the power and the joy of the buttermilk biscuit to the Pacific Northwest. I'm from North Carolina. That's where the biscuit originated. Unfortunately, I like Oregon more than North Carolina, but that doesn't mean that Oregon has to be a biscuit-free zone. Oregon is going to be pretty soon is going to be the epicenter of the biscuit world, and that's because of the Biscuit Barn. And I'm looking to start it within a couple months here. Just got to get some cash up, and that's it. I mean, I've got everything else I need. I got the recipe, I've got the plan, I've got the motivation, and the idea. So, I mean, the only thing between the now and the Biscuit Barn being totally complete and up and running is just some money. And so, once I figure that out, then it's all good.
Ben, you once at work you brought in a specimen to work. It was a. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. It's not in here though.
Can you explain what it is, and then can
It's a gigantic tick.
What exactly happened, and can you explain?
Man, all right. We went hiking, kind of out towards the desert, about an hour and a half from here, east, in like the sagebrushy area, and we were by the Deschutes River. And our dogs and us got completely covered with ticks. And they're just little regular ticks, okay, and they're all over. So we're picking them off for like a whole week after we get back. And the gray dog, Kyle, apparently when a tick latches on, it starts to really suck blood. I'm not talking about just the first couple of days. I'm talking about for like a week. The motherfucker sucks blood constantly. Alright, and its body goes from brown to gray. It's like, it turns into this giant gray grape hanging off the dog's body. And I was just petting her, and I felt this weird, like, big bulbous thing. And it like horrified me down to the very core of my soul when I saw this thing. Like a big gray grape, like it looked like an edamame, a gray piece of soybean with little tiny legs wiggling out of it. And just like blood, like, you know, like if you ate a big plate of spaghetti and your mouth was covered in sauce, that's how this tick was, but it was blood. And I had blood all over my fingers when I pulled it off. But anyways, I saved it in a jar because I wanted to show people.
Can we see it? Will you show it to us?
Yeah. Look, compared to my finger, look how big that thing is.
That was on your dog.
That was on my dog.
And
that's full of blood right there.
Looks like it's starting to come out.
Yeah, I think it might have ruptured.